guys, it's Ashley Offset. I just want to say thank you. In my last video, I shouted out the 5 to 7 subscribers I had acquired. I was completely blown away that anyone would subscribe to the channel in the first place. I really appreciate you guys. Again, just wanted to let you know that. And I'm just blown away because now we've gotten quite a few more subscribers just a week later. We're at 98 subscribers. Thank you so much. I did not see that coming at all. I didn't expect it. The best part about it is the comments that you guys leave telling me your stories about how you found your gear. That's really important to me. No matter if you're talking about vintage guitars that you got back in the day, vintage guitars that you got yesterday, lower end guitars that you prefer over high-end guitars, just all of your stories. It really is a nice community. I want to shout out the new subscribers. Please let me know if I've left you out because I'd like to include you in the next video. I'm gonna try my best to capture everyone. I think I can, but just let me know if I did not get your name. But what I wanted to add to that just really quickly is the guitar community has shocked me. I dove back into guitar about 6 months ago, so really kind of starting fresh in a sense. And I've been kind of an observer since that time, and I've collected a little bit of gear in that time. That's why this channel was created. But I never thought I would be so accepted and that everyone would be so nice. I was under the impression that it was relatively competitive as far as people's skill sets and stuff like that, and that's just not where I'm at. So I didn't think I would necessarily have a place. Not that the community was mean, just that I wouldn't fit in as well because I'm not, you know, to that status. And so thank you so much for just accepting me for who I am. I return the favor to you guys, and I've really enjoyed getting to know you, so thank you. Today we're gonna look at the Roland JC-120. JC stands for Jazz Chorus. This is a large amp that has been around now for 50 years. This is an anniversary model. They made a limited collector's edition, 350. This is number 155. It has a plaque in the lower corner that I'll show you in just a minute. The top and sides are a beautiful cherry wood, and then you have this durable edging all around. This beautiful black cloth here, and it is quite heavy, so it does come with casters so that you can roll it. Just a little bit of background. My dad, who is now no longer with us, really was an amazing musician. He played keyboard, organ, and piano. I'm not just saying this because he was my dad. He was truly amazing. As I got older, I kind of picked up on that he liked Roland and Boss, sometimes for keyboards and for the speakers as well. I have one of his Roland amps in the closet, just a large keyboard amp that I will keep forever. It was actually his birthday when I bought this. I found it at Alamo Music through their channel because they're located in San Antonio, Texas. They introduced me to this. I'd never heard of this before. It was a little bit before my time when it came out, and then in the meantime I had never heard of it. I was only in the guitar game initially for 2 years maybe, then I was out for a very long time, and now I'm back for the past 6 months. So I don't have a lot of exposure to a lot of things, but I'm really into learning about things. So they introduced this on their channel. I was suckered into the limited collector's edition piece of it. I was a little concerned that it was too large. I mean, it is very large if you can tell. And I only play at home. I'm not a professional by any means, and I don't do any recording, studio work. Definitely no gigging, not my thing. This thing could play amphitheaters. It's that big. So my one concern was, yes, I could get this. Yes, it would remind me of my dad, but is it too much? Is it overkill? Kind of a cool part of the story is one of the people I really look up to lately is Tomo. If you follow his channel, I'll try to link it down below. Basically, a guitar hero in his own right, but is also known for being John Mayer's guitar teacher in college for a little bit. While I was mulling over the decision of buying this or not for a couple of weeks, he posted that he got one. And I was like, no way. Like, I've been looking at this thing, and then one of my idols is telling me that he just bought it. So it must, like, it gets his endorsement, you know what I mean? I didn't think that he would answer, but I typed out a question on one of his videos about it, and I just said, hey, I'm considering this, but I only would use it in my bedroom. Would that be overkill? And he said, absolutely not. So that's all I really needed to get that push. And it being my dad's birthday in memory of him, it all just kind of came together. Now, I'm not saying that I bought it that quickly without thinking much more about it. I did a lot of research. So Alamo laid the history out. I'll attach that video below, but also binge watching and Googling a lot about this amp to make the final decision. By the end of all of that, those tones were like deeply embedded in my brain, and I decided to pull the trigger. So that's the backstory of how I acquired the amp. This thing is known as the King of Clean. known for some very clean tones, and historically it kind of set the standard as far as that goes. It's legendary for producing clean yet very unique, and when you hear the demo you'll see what I mean. It wasn't very well received apparently when it first came out, until people started noticing that their favorite bands were using it for live performances and studio recordings. And then it was kind of like it caught on, like, oh, well, this is cool. Now, the name Jazz Chorus, don't let it throw you off. I do find it cool. The Police and the Smiths use this thing, as well as an array of other artists that are very well known. I like to think of the Jazzmaster having that kind of, I don't want to say dorky name, but you know, the name Jazzmaster gives a certain connotation of a certain type of music. And I think back at the time, people were like, oh, that's lame, a Jazzmaster. So like, eventually the punk scene found the Offsets and the Jazzmasters and stuff like that and adopted them, and I think that that's kind of taken place with this. This thing has its place in a very clean venue, and then it's just a clean slate if you want to pair pedals on top of it. One thing I'll tell you about this amp is that the distortion right here on many videos I was told it was a joke, and I was like, yeah, right, like I don't use a lot of distortion, so it'll be plenty for me. Not at all. I'll try to remember to play the distortion to 10 on the demo, and usually I battle it back and forth trying to adjust all the settings, and you can't really get that dirty of a sound. I would say if you have pedals that cover that, cool, you have a clean slate, pair your pedal, then you're good to go. If it's going to be your only amp and you don't have any pedals and all you want to do is use fuzz or distortion, then maybe not the amp for you. I have a Fender amplifier from the 90s, and it's kind of a mid-size. It's definitely not as big as this, but it lays on the dirt really well. I'll alternate usually like one day to the next which one I use, just to get a distinct sound out of it. I do want to add that it has line out and foot switch capabilities for all of the effects. That being said, to just go ahead and demo it and give you some tones. perfect for one or not, it is an amp to be respected because it plays a major part in the history of our music. It being a solid state amp, but it also being 50 years old now is kind of a trip because they're relatively new amps, like in the amp world, I guess, but now they're celebrating their 50th birthdays, and so it's just really cool. I'll thank you just again one more time for joining me on the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.